mindset around money, your relationship with money, that has to come first. That has to be top of mind, what you're working on. And then along with that, that's the primary goal. And then along with that, you can also take certain specific actions that you can plan for now. Hey there, and welcome to Money and You. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host. My search for more fulfilling work led me to career and business coaching, where I stumbled upon a game-changing discovery. Money issues often start with our mindset and habits. You see, our relationship with money is the key to overcoming those frustrating financial obstacles. As an entrepreneur, coach, and problem solver, I'm passionate about helping you create a great relationship with money. Because, turns out, that's the foundation for a limit-free life. Each week on Money and You, I speak with amazing guests about all things money, mindset, practical tips, and everything in between. We're here to give you new insights, education, and empowerment so money can be one of your favorite relationships. So join us for some lively conversations and let's transform your financial life together. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Money and You Show. I'm going to do a solo show today, and it's going to be quick. I don't like to talk at you for too terribly long, but I do like to deliver some great content, so that's what I want to do today. It's June 1st. I think. Is it June 2nd already? Oh, it's June 2nd. Right. Thanks, Tony. But it's close enough to June 1st, which means we're halfway through the year. And I've always kind of got my planning brain going. I'm also very, very aware that this year has been just, the first half of the year has just been kind of weird. I think a lot of people had great goals for January, me included. And a lot of things happened in that time. And so I think a lot of people are hitting this midpoint of the year and feeling like, well, actually, I talked to a friend of mine yesterday who just said, oh my gosh, here are my New Year's resolutions. I haven't done a single thing. And I kind of feel similar in a way. I mean, January came, I was 2024, and the few years before were tough. So 2025 was like, this is my year. This is what I'm doing. Then we had the fires, and then we had just a lot of, all kinds of craziness in the news and everything else. And people are bracing for impact with tariffs and all kinds of ups and downs. And, I think everybody has been sort of distracted and maybe pausing, trying to see where things are going to go before we take any action, and plans sort of fell apart. And so I just want this show really to be about having faith in the second half of the year, and maybe going back to some of your plans and relooking at them or redesigning them and reinventing them so that you can go forward into the rest of the year with that sense of, okay, fresh restart. I've got things I'm going to accomplish and things I'm going to go forward with and do, and sort of, put the brakes on this. Whatever you've been doing, if you've been doing your goals and what you want to do, great. But if you haven't, if you do feel like you got a little stalled out this year, this is a great sort of second New Year moment. So I want to give you a couple of little thoughts that I recently wrote about in my last blog, which if you haven't come to my website and signed up for my newsletter and my blog, that would be a great thing to do. That's at limitfreelife.com. And you can sign up to get my blog posts and hear about what's going on at Limit Free Life and what events we have coming up and programs. So that would be great. And I did just really write a blog recently about the future you and trying to envision this future you that you want. And that can include your finances. It can include many other things, but let's just talk in terms of finances right now. So it's never too late, and it's certainly not too late to reach goals and get a fresh start midway through the year. So I really want you to think about this future you, who that is, what you're doing, who you're with, where you're living, what you're doing for work, what you're doing with your money. Are you still having the same stresses that you've been having? Are you feeling much more positive about your relationship with money? Do you understand it better? What are you doing? What is this future you? If you were to vision the future you, what does she look like? What is she doing? How is she handling her money? So let's think about that for a minute, because I think before we jump into action, we always want to have a little bit of a plan. And we also always want to get our mindset in order. And one of the things that I wrote about in this blog was that financial freedom is not about numbers first. We have it in our head that there's a magic number we need to get to, and that will solve all of our problems, or that will allow us to retire, or that will allow us to feel, to breathe easy and feel free. And that's kind of a myth. I mean, just having that number, there are people who have reached that number and they're not necessarily feeling that freedom. And there are other people for whom that number seems so far away. And so they just sort of give up on the whole thing. But if we don't even think about it in terms of a number or, a financial goal, if we think of it in terms of a relationship goal, things go much better. And honestly, mindset around money, your relationship with money, that has to come first. That has to be top of mind, what you're working on. And then along with that, that's the primary goal. And then along with that, you can also take certain specific actions that you can plan for now. But this future you is really enjoying a healthy, trusting relationship with money. That is the path to freedom. Once you connect with money, you feel comfortable with it, you feel less stress from it, you feel more in control. That is really where you start settling into a life where you expect good things to happen. You expect financial wins. You expect, to earn more, to meet the right people who could help you with that, to find the right setup for your business, or to find a new job, or to find new avenues for saving, for getting your budget your debt taken care of. So I really feel like when you are in the headspace that you need to be, when your mindset around money is one of anticipating good things to come along versus the stress of, thinking about what you don't have and what you will never have, or wherever your mind goes, that's the most crucial thing. So the first step in resetting and replanning needs to be spending some time with just noticing what your brain is doing. Where is it going? What are you thinking about? Where is it taking you? What's coming up? Fear, doubt, and worry, or excited anticipation and curiosity about what you could do and what you could have and what you could be. So think about that. Make that a little process. Come up with some kind of a way to whether it's journaling or getting into a meditation or taking a walk in nature and just thinking about, when I think about money, where is my mind going? In that future you, who you want to be, where is her mind going? What is future you's mind the thinking around money? Because that's where you want to go. And so now you can stop yourself when you start getting into some negative, kind of spin outs in your thinking, and put yourself into future you. And even if you have to pretend, even if you have to fake it, what would future you be thinking? What would future you be? How would she be handling that problem? And make decisions based on that future you. Make decisions as she would, not as the, scared, freaking out you right now might do. Okay, so that is number one. And then you can think about numbers. Then you can think about, I'd like my savings to increase by X percent or whatever. And then you can start getting a plan for that. But I think if there's one thing that I want this show to help people understand, is your way of thinking about money and your way of reacting, either consciously or unconsciously. That's what's going to make all the difference in your future financial freedom. So get this vision of the future you. And when you need that person, pull that person in to, look at and see, how is that person making decisions? Are they being bold? Are they being scared? What are they doing? And try to step into their shoes. So that's one piece of this. And then I wanted to just remind you, as you go into this reset, your purpose matters. So purpose is what creates flow. Otherwise, we're all over the place. We are making decisions just kind of whatever sounds good in the moment. But if we have a purpose and we are aligned with that purpose, then the decisions we make should be helping you to achieve that purpose. And that is also going to make all the difference in the world. But what happens is people don't know their purpose, or they haven't really thought it out. So again, I'm asking you to take that time before you set any new resolutions or new intentions to get in touch with your purpose. And again, sometimes that really means some alone time, some time hiking on your own, some time journaling and all of that I say all the time. But stop and think about, what is my purpose? And that could be anything. That doesn't mean, you're going to go do something amazing and spectacular. It just means whatever is purposeful for you and meaningful for you. How do you want to spend your time? What do you want to be doing? What do you want to be doing for work? What do you want to be doing in your leisure hours? So again, think about your purpose. Think about how to align your decisions with that purpose and not just make sort of random, all over the place decisions. And then, when it comes to money, make sure that feeds into your purpose. Make sure money decisions are fueling this future life with the purpose that you have visioned for yourself. So that's really what I wanted to mention. I also wanted to mention confidence, and confidence with money comes from clarity. So again, if you know your purpose, and if you know what that future you is doing out there in the world, then that's a backwards way into clarity. You can then unpack that and see, okay, the clarity is now there. I can visualize this future you, and I can understand my purpose. And so I'm clear on where I want to go. And that gives you huge confidence. When you don't have clarity around what you want, you don't really have a purpose, you're not clear about what that is, and you can't actually picture a future version of you, it's going to be a lot harder to make decisions. When you have all that down, not only is it easier to make decisions, but it's easy to be confident in what you're doing, because you know that confidence, that those actions that you're taking and what you're planning is going to take you where you want to go. And that in itself, confidence in decisions is a great thing. When we have to make decisions and we don't know what to do, that throws us off our game. That does some damage to our mindset, because we go into this place of not knowingness, and that degrades our confidence. So to get confidence, work on these other things and just march in that direction. And when you start doing that, you'll start seeing things as well that come. You'll start seeing evidence that this is the right direction to be going in. Things will start popping up so that you go, oh yeah, this was a good decision. I was right on this one. And that's when your confidence really builds, because then you can look back at that too and think, what was I thinking? What was I doing? It worked. It led to this evidence. So I'm going to keep doing those things. So again, it's the beginning of the second half of the year, and I really want you to make this second half one where you are feeling in control and confident and clear and ready for action. And so there's, maybe you lost a few months this year, you can gain it back, and you can still achieve everything that you wanted to achieve when you set out at the beginning of 2025, and probably more. And you've probably also learned a few things with this kind of crazy first 6 months. And so it's a good time to revise and see what your new goals are. Maybe they make a lot more sense than the ones that you had in January, and maybe they're more meaningful to you and you're more motivated. So go for it and have a great time resetting and replanning for the second half of the year. Okay, so thanks for joining me here. Thanks for listening. And I hope this helps you to set out on a new start. I think we always need new starts. I think that's a regular thing. So have a great time with this too. Make sure you make it fun and enjoyable for yourself so that you'll continue to do it. And please come to the Money and You show and subscribe to the show if you haven't yet, and rate and review the show. We love to have more listeners and more 5-star ratings on the show. It helps us a lot. So thank you for that. Thank you, UBN Go, and we'll see you next week.